All right, here we go. Hello, everybody. We're back after 2 weeks. And sorry I missed you last week. I probably should have done a better job at trying to go live. I did go live on the Facebook Live, but I did not go live.
Live
Whoops,
on
hold
the
on.
Facebook
I'm
Live.
messing up here. I'm acting like a rookie. I got the YouTube on my phone going. So anyway, and look at Frankie Floyd right out of the gates. It's becoming tradition. He is the first one with a super chat. Let me write that down before I get going. That's going to make you, let's see, 15 through 17, Frankie, of our next shirt drawing. And Christy, I see, is here. Welcome, Christy. And you know what? I went and set your shirt out on the table in the dining room there, so I would make sure that I get that sent off to you and packed up today. I see we got the North Shore Travelers here. Bruce and Frankie were first today. Bless Nettie is here. Tony G is here. Will G is here. What's going on, Will? Usnavi. And yeah, they're everybody just keeps trickling in. So I love to see it. It's good to see y'all didn't forget about me. And Kakins is here. Great, great, great. And we got Sadie here, and we have another guest because you're probably getting used to it by now, but it seems like I can't carry a show by myself anymore. So I got to invite people to kind of help me get through it. But we just got off the Carnival Horizon, and I say we because the special guest tonight is one member of who I've referred to several times. For those of you that are familiar with the show, it's part of what I dubbed the Charlie's Angels the first time I met him on a cruise last year. And they decided to go on the cruise with Anita and I. And it was looking dicey there. If you all saw my video on the way out, things weren't looking good. And look at that. We have North Shore Travelers. And they are hooking up Sadie. Sadie, you're the first. You get the first treat from North Shore Travelers. So high five for them. And yeah, so let's see. North Shore Travelers, you are 18 through 27. And I'll get into the description of the super chats for those people that are new. I know we have a few new people here that are going to be going on the Carnival Horizon very shortly. So let me get some help. And without any further ado, here is Angie from the Charlie's Angels. At least I
Hi,
dubbed them
guys.
the Charlie's Angels. So Angie, I had some trouble. We had some trouble getting to the ship, and there was some real doubt whether we would even make the cruise. And then I know you all had a little bit of trouble getting home. So yeah, weather hasn't been great all over the U.S.
No,
But
weather
the good
hasn't
news
been
is we both got there safely, and we both made it home safely. So that was the most important thing. So before we get discussing the horizon and what you and I thought of it and everybody else, just real quick, because we've already had a couple super chats. Yoli and Angie, you're actually in the drawing here from from 2 weeks ago. Yoli, 1 through 4, Angie 5 through 14, Frankie Floyd 15 through 17, North Shore Travelers 18 through 27, and yeah, so there we go. So we're caught up on that. I see Yoli has just joined us. Michael has just joined us. Together We Travel is here. I think I said, and Sandra, TikTok Sandy is back. So good to see you, Sandy. And Sandra, TikTok Sandy, Sandra. I don't know what we should call you. I'll just call you Sandra. How about that? And then Bruce has his show coming on after me. So anyway, how the super chats work, North Shore Travelers, they knew about Sadie. I have these special, I don't know, they're treats, raw duck and chicken and something that's supposed to be healthy for the dog. And we have some little hot dog bites that I give her just in the meantime to keep her up here with us. But she's enjoying that treat right now. So for every $10 super chat, you can hook Sadie up with a big treat. And any $15 or more super chat, look, there's not much left. So I think we can finish off the rest of this whiskey. Probably two shots might get it done, at the most three. So $15 would get me a treat and Sadie a treat at the same time. And then if you once we reach 100, which we're up to 27 right now, then we do a drawing for a shirt. Christy won our last shirt, and as I mentioned, I'll be packing that up and sending that off to her. So the Carnival Horizon, I've been on it several times. Angie, I believe this was your first time on the Carnival Horizon, right?
First time was the first time.
Yeah, now I will say this: it is one of my favorite ships. It really is, and I'll start there because I talked with Angie on the ship, and when we had our cruise last year, we were on the Carnival Valor, which is a smaller ship. It doesn't quite offer as many amenities, but where I like the Horizon more, I think you said you preferred the smaller ship. Why would you say that?
So being the first time on the ship, we were super excited to get on the ship. I've never been on a ship that big. Typically, we tend to sail the smaller ships. I like the intimacy of smaller ships, but I was told about the different avenues for eating, the different restaurants, that they're so much more fabulous. So we were excited to get on this ship. So about probably about day two. It was day two. I was not a fan of this ship. I am one of the ones that is not a fan of this ship. Although I will say, I don't know when we're going to get into that. I will say the food choices were fabulous. The things that we could do were really fabulous on this ship. They really were. But one of the main things, for those of you who know, I think, Coach, you talked about this before, we booked a Havana room. And in the Havana, it comes with special amenities. You get your own pool, your own hot tubs. There's no kids. I think it's under 12. Is it 12 that they're not allowed back there?
I didn't see anybody under 21.
Yeah.
I think it's 21.
I think there's no kids under 12. You have your own bar, and it's right from your room. So it's super fabulous. There was no issues like having pool space but I travel with the Charlie's Angels, and they love the pool. I am a layout girl. I love to lay out. So I need a chair. Well, day two, no chairs. The same issues that we have, on the regular decks, the Lido deck, I went out there and it was probably 8:45ish. So it wasn't super early, but it wasn't super late. And it was a sea day, so I understand. However, we pay for these extra amenities and I had no chair. So off the bat.
Point. I never experienced that. That was my third time in the Havana area, and I always noticed empty loungers. So this was a rare thing, and I don't know if everybody thought that they had to. People in the Havana area were doing what people on the Lido deck do, and that's hoard chairs and put their stuff and just leave it there. But there's nobody in the Havana area that's policing those chairs. The thing, I didn't notice it because honestly, with my Irish skin, I'm not trying to lay out in the sun because I'll end up like a lobster and it'll ruin my vacation. But she did make that point to me, and that's a valid point. I mean, that is one thing about the Havana area that's always remained. And unfortunately, in your case, I think that was an isolated incident. I don't think that's is a issue. And Lido Tito's here, Fireball Steve, they stayed back there with us, Usnavi, and they didn't have that problem. So unfortunately, and if any of you that have stayed in the Havana area have had a problem with getting loungers, mention that in the comments really quick here. And while you're doing that, let me say hi to a few more people. Fireball Steve, well, this shot is from Bruce, and the shot glass is from Fireball Steve. So I got 2 in 1 here. And Bruce from Ocean Travel. He's going to be on right after me. And Bruce, thanks so much for this shot. And between that, you also got Sadie a treat. So that's treat number 2 for you. You're happy. And let me take this shot here. And I think we can get one more out of that. Like I said, and Lito Tito just, I see. Let me say hi to everybody. Cruising is fun anytime. I don't know if I said hello earlier. Fireball Steve, I mentioned John Mattingly. What is going on? Tim G is here. What is going on, Tim? Good to see you back in the comments again. Tim is one of our most active people on Facebook. He's always welcoming everybody to the Coach Cruise Facebook group. And it's unlikely that you can join the Coach Cruise Facebook group without getting welcomed by Tim. So for those of you not on it, come join us. We have Leska Cruising. Hello, hello. Thank you. They said, welcome back. We sail the horizon again in October. Together We Travel is here. And let's see, Lito Tito is here with Usnavi. Lito Tito and Usnavi are a couple, if you didn't know that out there. Kevin B was on the cruise with us. We're going to talk about Kevin in a little bit. And yeah, I think we're covered. Lito Tito, let me write you down before I forget. Bruce, you are 28 through 47, and Lito Tito, you are 48 through 52. Yes, I think that's right. 48, 49, 50. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that catches us up. So not counting the lounge chairs, the Havana area, you had the private bar. That worked out well, right?
Yes.
The towels readily available. You could just grab it anytime. The pool. That's one of the things I like the most about the Havana area. Was there ever a problem with the pool?
No, the pool is actually super fabulous. It was fabulous. It was big enough for everybody back there. It was never really super crowded. It seems like they had a part you could just sit in, and there was a deeper part. It really was fabulous. Just to be it was a relaxing space. That is the first time I've been able to be on a cruise ship in a pool and actually sit and really relax. It was great.
Yeah. And that is, I think, also one of the biggest amenities of the Havana area is, the pools on the main deck, since there's so many people. I mean, you're talking about 5,000 people on a ship. Those pools can accommodate maybe 50, so it can get a little tight in there and a little like, maybe I'll skip the pool and, maybe I'll just stick my feet in or something. So when you're back in the Havana area, you feel like you can actually, get in the pool, have a conversation with a half a dozen people that might be in there. And, the same with the hot tubs. So the Havana area, in my opinion, but that is a warranted, complaint you have about the lack of availability. I mean, that should not have happened. And, when you fill out that survey, make a point to, address that, because hopefully they'll take that into account. All right. So Kevin, thank you very much for that super chat, sir. And I think we have got it. As I just mentioned, Kevin was with us. And we do have Kakins. I hope I pronounced that right. But they're on the celebration in 26 days. That caught my attention because I'm going to be on the celebration in about 60 days. So I know the celebration is a sister ship to Mardi Gras, so I kind of know what I'm getting into. But I'm super, super excited about the celebration. And let's see if that can segue into our next topic. Okay, so on the Carnival celebration, one of my very favorite cruise directors, and I say very favorite cruise directors because I have more than one. I had not cruised with Cookie before. And, I think Angie and I are in full agreement on this. I love the man. Absolutely love the man. I will say this. I knew Cookie was beloved before I got on the ship, and I was excited because I'd heard about how great he was and everything. But you know how you know you see movies that are hyped up, you see restaurants that are hyped up, and then you get there and you're like, yeah, it was good, but I mean, it didn't quite live up to the hype. Okay, Cookie exceeded the hype, and the hype was up here. The hype
Yeah.
was up here for me, and he went up here somewhere. So I can't say enough about it. Angie, tell us some thoughts you had about Cookie.
So, just little background as far as cruise director. So, I've been cruising not as long as all of you. However, my first probably interaction with a cruise director, I think, was Jamie D, and that was on the Paradise. And I vaguely remember her. So since that time, it's been, I don't know, 10 years or so. Since that time, I have had absolutely no interactions with cruise directors. That's how my cruise directors have been. And, we're quite social. We're open to whatever. So, I hear about this Cookie guy and I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, he's probably a great guy. And I had no idea how this man would be. He is so inclusive of every human that he comes across in such a positive way. You cannot help but be around him and just giggle or just smile. He makes everyone uh, feel super good about themselves. He wants you to know that he's happy that you're there. If there's anything he can do for you, and he means it. Like, he will stop what he's doing. Just a fabulous human being, how he interacted with everyone on that ship. So he's really the first cruise director that I have really had interaction with. And I have never heard anyone talk about a cruise director like I have heard about him. I thought he was amazing. Just how he did like the military show, and he's very sincere. He's very sincere. And he just made, like, on the 80s dance party, good. I had the best time with him. And everyone had the best time with him. And we walked out of that party feeling so good about just being together on the ship. So he has that special magic about him that just, I don't care who you are, black, white, purple, I don't care who you are, you immediately love him, and we did.
Well, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring up one of the questions you all came up with. I asked, I did an interview with Cookie, and it has not come out yet. It will be coming out within the next couple weeks. I'm putting out video. I just put out the Carnival Horizon tour today. But, when I was making the questions, I asked Angie and Nikki and Chrissy, the other two members of the Charlie's Angels, as they'd like to, observe while I did the interview, and if they'd like to ask a question. So they gave me 3 questions. And one of the questions had to deal with, inclusion and making basically everybody feel, like family. And that's one thing that I feel Cookie has really done and throughout his career is he makes everybody feel on an equal, playing field. Whether you're, like, as Angie just mentioned, whether you're black, white, yellow, green, purple, whatever, you are going to feel like a member of the family. And that's where the whole cousin Cookie thing comes in. And you feel happy, saying cousin Cookie, because you want to be part of that family. And again, whether you're straight, gay, whatever, he just has a way of connecting with you. And one thing that he said during the interview that really struck me, and it might have been after the interview, but he said he had a conversation or he'd gotten a note from a lady, and he had said how he just wanted everybody to see the person for who the person is. And the lady had said something to the effect of, when I got on the cruise, I had a real problem with my daughter being in an interracial relationship. And, you helped me so much, overcome, my feeling for that. And she just thanked him. But, when you go on a cruise and you spend some time and you really interact with Cookie, and he interacts with everybody. Like I say, when you see my kind of behind the scenes video, and I released one, I got another one coming out this weekend. But you'll see me walking with Cookie, and we'll walk past 50 people, and he interacts with 50 people. I mean, it might just be a hello, but he's just, I always think that that's the credit of the top cruise directors out there, is that personal connection. I mean, he does it as well as anybody. Lee Mason does it, Kendall Fire. I mean, I would say those are my three top favorite cruise directors, but they all have a knack of being able to get through the ship somehow, some way, no matter how many thousands of people are on it. And you have some kind of an interaction with the cruise director, and it just makes you feel kind of special. So, yeah,
he did that with the staff too. It wasn't just the cruisers themselves. Like that he needed to make an impression. He did it with the staff. Like I saw him walk by engine room employees, captains. He did it with the staff he walked by, and every one of them waved, acknowledged him, and you could tell that they enjoyed him. So, I love him.
Yeah, absolutely. And feelings mutual there. And, for those of you that haven't cruised Horizon yet, and, I know I'm on a couple of those pages that are upcoming cruises for the Horizon. And, hopefully you're seeing this as a result of that. But you are going to be very happy if you haven't got to experience Cookie on a previous cruise. I guarantee you, if he's not your favorite, he's going to be right up near the top, after this cruise. So let's see, Kevin. Yeah. And yeah, right. And again, Kevin just said, yeah, it doesn't matter color, race, whatever. He makes you feel. And the other thing too is, he would, I did a number of things, between the interview and shadowing Cookie and stuff like that. And, he would send me messages thanking me and asking if there's anything I needed. I mean, he was the one doing the favor for me, and he's sitting here sending me thank you messages. So yeah, just, another thing I like is he's one of those rare type of people that can kind of make fun of you and tease you a little bit. And you just laugh, I mean, you just know it's all in good fun. And yeah, I mean, he'll tease people, and some people might not feel comfortable teasing somebody else. They might feel like, oh, they're going to take it the wrong way or whatever. But you never take it the wrong way. Like, he could tease you, in a way that you just feel like, you just laugh along with them, and you might be the joke, and you're laughing with them. So it's completely good. Tim G, thank you, sir. And you were getting hungry there, weren't you? Okay, you want to sit down first? You want to sit down? Okay. You got the slobber going. How about this paw over here? How about the other paw? There you go. There you go. You had to work for that one. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Allie D, Cookie is one of the most genuine human beings. Let's put that on the screen because I agree completely. Shane says, first time here. All right. Welcome, Shane. Thanks for coming. Love having the people that are here for the first time. I hope you come back a second, a third, a fourth, fifth, and on and on. All right. So, well, I mean, we could talk about Cookie all night, but, there are some people that might want to know a little bit more about what we have going on here. So, entertainment. What type of entertainment did you observe and watch while you were on the show? I know you didn't see everything.
We did not see everything, mainly because a lot of the shows were standing room only. So we heard nothing but good things about them. But one of the shows that we did see on your suggestion was Celestial Strings. That was a good show. Typically I'm not a dance person, or I was in theaters in high school, but it's just not my thing. But that was a fabulous show. I thought all of the cast did very well. It kept your eye. always. It's a very theatrical show, but it was fabulous. So that's the main show that we went to. We tried to get in Love and Marriage, and we did see it probably the first 15 minutes of it, but it was standing room only. It was packed back there. So we ended up having to breathe a little bit. So we stepped out, but we knew that you were taping that. So we did watch it. We did watch it later, and it was great too. I saw that Cookie did pick on you a little bit there in that show.
Hey, well, the thing about that was, I tell you what, that was an honor and a pleasure
Yes.
to be picked on and be part of that. So for those of you that don't know, and I'm going to be releasing this, and I did release like a 1-minute reel, so you can kind of see the major highlight, but there was a proposal, and Cookie let me know about it early in the morning when I was, taping the military appreciation and following him around and stuff. He's like, hey, make sure you're there. I want you to help me out with this. And so he called my Anita and I and another couple up on stage who I think also knew that there was going to be a proposal. And the whole thing with the Love and Marriage is, you're married, right?
Right.
So to pull, couples up on stage, you expect them to be married. So he called us up, and then he called the second couple up, and then he called this couple up that was part of the proposal. And so, he gets to us first, and he says, hey, get to the end of it. Basically, how long you been married? And we've been married this many years, and clap, whatever, move on to the next person. Next person, how long you've been married? We've been married, 9 years, whatever, clap. They walk off, get to the third couple, and he says how much he loves her and everything. And, well, how long have you been married? We're not. And Cookie's like, whoa, everybody laughs. And he's like, this is awkward. It's like, obviously you're supposed to be married. And then that's when the guy says, but we should change that now. And he gets down on a knee, and, the crowd goes wild and everything. So it was really cool. Like I said, I made a little 1-minute video of it. And then I have a longer video coming out that will have, Cookie doing the full production that everybody can see. So that was very fun to be a part of. And the Love and Marriage show is really good too. I'll have that coming out as well. So for anybody that wants to get their horizon fixed, I will satisfy that fix. I promise you. That's so much video footage that I have to get through. So yes, we will get through all of it. But getting back to Celestial Strings, let's talk about that one. So Celestial Strings has been around since the Horizon came out. It's the first ship that had Celestial Strings. Celestial Strings has now been passed along to several other ships. I know it's on the Mardi Gras. I believe it's on the Celebration. I believe it's on the Panorama. It might be on another ship as well. But it's just a fabulous production.
It was. It really was.
It's just very unique, and it's kind of hard to describe. I mean, how would you describe it? I mean, in terms of the costumes and...
I don't know. My friends were dance moms, so I'm a little bit familiar with this type of thing. There's some ballet in there, not quite opera, but it's a good mix of the two with the storyline. But it's very visual. It's very visual around the entire room. You're not just looking up on stage. The cast almost interacts with you. And they actually, I think they did interact with you a little bit while singing, but they're propped in different places around the room at any given time. So it was very visual, and it felt inclusive no matter where you were sitting, like in the room. I loved it. I thought it was fabulous.
Right.
But I can't say too much because they need to go see it.
Right. Well, that is one thing that I will highly suggest is get there early.
Yes.
Get there early. You want to be at the front door. And, one thing I asked Cookie, because I've seen this show several times, there's sometimes because of COVID and whatever that they just had the entire production on the main stage. Then recently they've brought these side stages out again. And so I had asked Cookie, I said, hey, could you tell me is this production, is it going to have the side stages out, or is it just going to be the main stage? And he says, yeah, the side stages are going to be out. So in that case, in order to not kind of be turning around and looking backwards, the front row isn't necessarily the best place. If you can be back just behind the two side stages in the center, so where you can see the main stage and the side stages, and as Angie pointed out, the performers, the violinists, the dancers, the singers, they come right out into the stage, and it's the coolest thing to me, especially if you're in a primo seat, and you're in the front row to where they're actually moving through. You'll get hit with a dress, or they'll swipe or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's no better, you can't get closer than that, right? Like if you're actually feeling the wind of them running by, or part of a dress hits you as they're going by. I mean, that's like a really cool experience. Not to mention, it is just a fabulous show. Just a fabulous show. So let's see. Oh, good. We got Apalila. You are back. Hello from Las Vegas. Good to see you back again. And yeah. All right. So another show we saw, and the thing about this show, couldn't get too crazy about it, but they did have some good singers, and you could really tell they were getting deep into the singing and really trying to put on the best show. But Vintage Pop only had just pretty much the singing. They didn't do the full production because it was a new cast. So I know Angie and the rest of the girls, they went and saw that, and we saw it. But it was basically just singing. It was good, but again, it wasn't the full production.
I think Cookie said they got there at the last minute. They were kind of a new cast put together, and but just for being a new cast put together, it was still a good show. I mean, yeah. I enjoyed that as well. It was still a good show, and they did. I don't think you would have quite known that they were a new cast just put together. So they did great,
Right. And that's a good point too. So for those of you that are coming on, and the next month or two, I think you will really enjoy them, because they'll have had a few practice runs, in between, and they were very good, for the limited productions that they did. Let's see. Okay, so there was also Soulbound, which I know you all didn't see. I did see part of that. Soulbound's another really good production that I really enjoy. Those are my three favorites, probably in order: Celestial Strings, a clear number one, and then I would say Vintage Pop's probably my second favorite, and then Soulbound third, and then Amor Cubano is the fourth show that they have, depending on if you're on a 6 or an 8-day cruise. You might see all four regardless, but they have some really good shows. And then not only that, but they have live musicians. I will say the band, the Ocean Plaza, that played in the Ocean Plaza primarily, they were very good. I did hear some other musicians playing. The violin trio I always enjoy, but the band in the Ocean Plaza, they had a male and a female singer that I both thought were really, really good. Anita and I sat back and watched them for about an hour and a half one night, just with a couple drinks, and that was it. Ann is here. Good to see you too, Ann. And I know Ann was on the celebration not too long ago. All right, so we covered a lot of the entertainment here. Let's talk food, because there are 3 meals that we had in common. So let's start with the specialty foods. Now, the first meal we had was the steakhouse. So the Charlie's Angels, Anita and I, and Kevin was there too with Barb. They were sitting just beside us, just the other side of us. So we were almost kind of all together. So what did you think about the steakhouse?
So the steakhouse is one of my must-dos. And a lot of people, I did hear from a lot of people, I kind of try to take in both sides of opinions, and asking people if they're going to go to the steakhouse. They think it's a lot of the same food in the MDR, which I I kind of understand that. However, nobody cooks a steak like they do in the steakhouse.
Yeah.
Nobody. They
Oh,
they
right.
make the best ribeye in the steakhouse. I'll pay for it. It is so good. The service is always just so fabulous. We really, well, we like to dress up, but we like interacting with the staff too. That is one of the biggest parts of our cruise is interacting with the wait staff and just showing appreciate. They make our vacation. If it wasn't for them, but the steakhouse is a must do for me. I do enjoy that steak. Oh yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Here's the funny thing. This was probably the because we were just so tired. And I don't really talk to Anita about this, but I mean, normally I'm just eating the steak and just like, oh, I'm just enjoying and savoring every bite. For those of you that followed our trouble traveling, we didn't sleep. It was over 24 hours since we had slept. I dozed off on the plane, one of the plane rides, on the way down, just for a little bit. So when we were eating, I mean, I was enjoying it. I was enjoying the company and everything, and it was good. But I mean, it would have been better if I was, rested up and,
I think you were in a food coma by the time
yeah,
you were almost done. Your eyes were starting to glaze like a little bit.
yeah. I mean, normally the first night I'm all about let's get into this
Yeah,
cruise, let's hang out, let's party. We had dinner, and I think dinner started around 5:45, 6.
yeah,
As soon as we were done, Anita and I were off to bed,
yeah.
and we didn't see anybody until probably noon about the next day. I mean, we just went and crashed. We were so tired, and I mean, I hate that, because I love that first cruise day and just really taking in everything. And even the second day was still. I mean, we had the bar crawl and everything, but I still felt it was kind of a recovery day for us. So it
Yeah.
wasn't until about the third day that I finally feel like we felt normal. Hey, I just want to give a quick update before we move on. We're all the way up to 67. So Tim G with that last super chat got us. Tim G, you are 58 through 67. Kevin B, you're 53 through 57. So yeah, we are only 33 away. We might be able to give another shirt away here. So hopefully. And Sadie's looking at these last three treats up here like, yeah, let's do it. So anyway, yeah, the steakhouse, great as always. And yes, I'm in complete agreement, Angie. No, that the steaks you get in the MDR are not near as good. Not to say they're not good. They're just
Correct.
not the
They're
quality.
not the same.
I
Correct.
mean, maybe choice quality steaks compared to prime, but then, I mean, it's even a level above that,
Correct.
in my opinion. Yeah. So, and then not to mention, you get some fabulous appetizers.
Yeah.
The cheesecake was really, really good.
Hey, the cheesecake was my midnight snack. I'll have to tell you.
Right, right,
I went back. We've talked on previous shows about that. That was my midnight snack. Yeah.
right. And you know what? Now here's another option on the horizon, and it's also on the XL class as an option. So it's on the Mardi Gras, it's on the Celebration, it's on the Panorama, it's not on the Vista, and it will be on the Jubilee, but Bonsai Teppanyaki. So that is one of those places where you can go and you have your own chef right in front of you, dicing and chopping up and cracking jokes and all kinds of things. But so Anita and I and the Charlie's Angels, we all shared that dinner together as well. And you got a choice of, I know some of the choices were filet mignon combined with lobster, or
Yeah.
you could have shrimp, or you could have chicken, or you could have just the filet mignon. And I think there was another choice or two in there. And, obviously, along with the rice and veggies and everything else like that. But it's just a very neat experience. Like I said, the chef is cracking jokes, and our particular chef was very funny, I thought. But Yeah, it was a good time. What did you think about the
It was a
teppanyaki?
first for me again. So I have not been on ships this big. So that Bonze was a first for me. Um, I was completely entertained the whole time. The chefs are very interactive with you, cutting things and throw. I want to say throwing knives, but that's not really what he's doing. But just tossing food and cutting it and making jokes. And it's an intimate setting as well. There is another table behind you, but I think how many people were there? Like
I
maybe
think we had 11. I think
11
there
or
was 11
12.
total.
It's an intimate setting, so your own chef is right in front of you, and you can see how he cooks everything. And but he's entertaining you at the same time. So I am. That's another extra. However, it's worth doing. We do this about once a year, so I'm all for all these new things, and it was great. We had a really good time, and the food, it was good. Everything was very fresh. It was very good. We enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. And then I was very happy with my selection, which I just got the filet mignon. I didn't combine it with anything. And so
I,
I was
I'm a
really
chef
happy.
girl. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's whatever you like. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. Now, I will say that the steakhouse has teppanyaki beat as far as the dessert department goes. Their quality of desserts, in my opinion, is
You
not
know,
near what you get in steak.
they had those little round fudge things. Maybe that's a woman thing. I don't know, but those little things are like little balls of heaven. I don't know. I could have had like four of those.
Yeah, they were good, but I'll take my slice of cheesecake
Yeah.
over
Yeah,
that.
you're probably right, but might have been a first timer for me, but I loved everything. I thought it was great.
Yeah. And North Shore Travelers, I think I mentioned earlier, we got the Noise Family Videos is here. TNT's Adventures to Sea. Welcome to all. Oh, and Lynn. Lynn is back. Good to see you again, Lynn. Oh, and then look at that. Right out of the gates, I mentioned Lynn, and there is a $10 super chat. So that
See?
makes you 66 through 77. And that makes one very slobbering happy dog right here. High five. And another high five. And there you go. And so she'll leave me alone for Noise Family Videos, new subscriber. Well, thank you so much, Noise. And thank you, everybody. Honestly, the subscriber count has been shooting up. I could not believe, honestly, it took uh, 11 months and a few days to get our first 1,000 subscribers. I was talking about that with the Charlie's Angels on the cruise because our first cruise where we met was at the end of February of last year. And I wasn't even at 500
Yeah.
subscribers. And now it's, approaching 3,200. But just since, I was trying to hit 2,000 before the new year, and we just made it.
Good.
And then just since the beginning of the new year till now, we've gained almost 1,200 subscribers in 3 months. What took us, that same time period probably took us, a year and 2 months or something. We did it in three. So we're growing a lot faster, which is awesome. I'm glad, many of you have jumped on board and you enjoy the content, and it's a lot more fun. One thing I will say about this too is I got to make sure I never curse or do anything too bad, because one of the biggest kicks I got out of this particular cruise is the number of kids that I found out that watch the channel. You're going to see a number of them because I tried to take a picture with just about every kid, that had come up. But it's usually almost in every situation that the parents came up and said, oh, our son or our daughter, they really enjoy watching your channel. And I'm like, what? Like, why are they watching? Like, I don't feel like this is like a kid,
Content.
friendly show. Like, I feel like we're mostly talking about adult kind of stuff that you'd be interested in. But yeah, I had many kids, and I was just so tickled. I'm tickled by anybody that comes up and says, they like the show and they watch it. But particularly the kids. That just yeah, I was so pumped about that. Um, so yeah. All right. So we covered teppanyaki, and now there was one more, and we haven't done this in several years, and I believe it was the Charlie's Angels first, but we did chef's table together.
Yes.
So what was and let me before we get into chef's table, let me just say this. So Angie, for those of you who don't know, I've mentioned it before, but this is the first time you've actually seen her on video or whatever. He is I think her business card or whatever says the Merry Mixer. So she is in Ohio, and I still haven't tried anything because she doesn't ship. She doesn't ship. Um, but she makes these cakes, and I kid you not. So we're friends on Facebook, obviously. So she'll post these pictures of all her cakes and cupcakes and everything. I kid you not. It's like watching those TV shows where they make the cakes, and you're like, how is that even a cake that looks like a car or something, And they, yeah. So she does all that stuff. So she's incredibly talented.
Here's a wall of my sprinkles right here. Wall.
Yeah,
Sprinkle
there.
wall full of them.
Yeah, so if you ever see her work, you'll be like, wow, that's really a cake. So yeah, so she has some experience in, the cooking or baking or whatever. I mean, the chef's table, obviously, it's not just about desserts or cakes or whatever, but she probably had a little different mindset than the average person that goes in there. So what did you think about the chef's table?
So I didn't know what to expect with the chef's table. I just, it's a for families that want to do this. It is an expense. I think was it like a little under $100. It is an expense, and so I can understand why a lot of people don't get to do this. But um, this was Nikki's 50th birthday cruise, so we went all out, and I didn't know what to expect, not having been on this big a ship, and then not having done this before. So they take you to the kitchen of the ship, and so you walk through the literal kitchen, and you get to see what is going on behind the scenes, what most people don't get to see, all the different stations of all the different food, and the pastries are here, and it is an enormous kitchen with all of it. Yeah, Shane, so you'll want to do this. So definitely. So, and they have this beautiful room in the middle of the kitchen that has this, long dining table, and there's glasses all over the ceiling. It's as if you're not in the kitchen, but the walls are glass, so you can see what's going on. But it was really an elite meal. I was super, I felt like I should have been in France or something. Like it was an elite meal. Things that I probably could never afford or would ever do outside of the cruise. Um, Everything, and I ate things that I would never order. And for instance, like the duck that they served. Number one, I would never order duck. I don't like it. However, I told the girls, and I think I may have told Anita, I don't think I've ever had it prepared correctly because it was amazing. This food was really top quality, amazing. But I think it ended up being with dessert like 9 or 10 courses with all of the things that they gave us. Just properly executed. Even the serving, it was theatrical. The serving of the food was theatrical. Um, I don't know. It was overwhelming at first, but it was the neatest experience. If you get the chance to do it, I would suggest you do it. You meet with the chef; he's right there, and he explains all the food to you, and he talks to you personally. I was super. That was one of my most favorite things. With short of some of the interactions with Cookie, that was my most favorite dining thing that we did. It was an event. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you know what? That's very well said. An event, because of the cost, it is not something that everybody is going to do. And I mean, unless you have, a child that is very much a foodie, which I mean, don't bring a kid to this that likes McDonald's and chicken nuggets or whatever. I mean, it's an experience for those people that, um, want an experience, a dining experience. There's a magician that comes in that entertains you for a little bit, and he's a lot of fun. But, as Angie mentioned, the chef explains each and every appetizer, exactly what's in it, how to eat it, what to pair, because they serve you, white wine and red wine, and they'll say, okay, you want to pair the white wine with this appetizer, you want to have the red with this course, and yeah, it's just a very it's an event. Like Angie said, it is an event. It's not just a meal; it is an event, and the quality of this food is. They're not serving this in the main dining room, so don't think that this is a glorified, food that you can also get. No, I mean they buy this food separate, special. So one thing I had said, I'd done a previous chef's table, and some gentleman that really was a big time foodie, for his birthday or something, somebody took him to a 5-star restaurant, and he said he enjoyed the chef's table more, if that explains anything to you. So yeah, it was really, really good. So yeah, so that covers the specialty dining. Covering the free food really quickly, I'll go first on this one. I think my favorite free food on this one was the tacos again. The tacos again for me. I mean, I love Guy's Burger, and I love the deli, but I mean, those three spots, as far as free food goes, I did it on the breeze at the end of my cruise on the New Year's Eve cruise. I got 3 tacos, and I mean, I just loaded those suckers up, with the salsa, the cilantro, the sour cream, all the different stuff, and they were just fabulous. I posted a picture of the tacos I ate, I think, on the second or third day, on the Coach Cruise Facebook page, and a lot of people were liking that picture, and I don't blame them, because yeah, it was even more fun to eat that picture. And yeah, it's just I love the Blue Iguana Cantina tacos, and also in the morning, once or twice I went, and they got the fresh huevos rancheros. They'll make the eggs fresh right there, and that line. I mean, everybody goes to the burrito line in the morning, it seems like, but on the other side, you usually get fresh huevos rancheros. So yeah, so that was my favorite for the free food. As far as free food goes, what was your favorite?
So, as far as free food, I will have to say, just for those of you watching that aren't used to watching these types of shows, or this is the first cruise, YouTube show that I have watched, and there are things that I've been cruising for a little while. I had no idea about the tacos as long as I've been cruising. I had no idea that they serve tacos at lunch. So these were one of the things that we actually made a point to go eat. And I'll just say we had them several times. Several times. And I actually, you need that extra taco shell to catch the stuff so you can eat another taco. But they were fabulous. As far as the free food, I would say that was probably one of my favorite foods. However, anyone who knows me knows that I am a fan of C-Day brunch. I'm with Andrew and Funnelheads. I'm a C-Day brunch girl. It is my favorite meal. Probably to interact with the staff. We like interacting with the staff, and you don't get that, in the food lines or so. But I would say tacos were too. But I'm still an MDR, C-Day brunch girl.
Yeah, well, hey, nothing wrong with that. Okay, so let's cover the ports really quickly. So Aruba, I know you all had a good day in Aruba. What'd you all do in Aruba?
We did have a decent day in Aruba. We had not been to an actual beach in Aruba. We've always done tours in the past, so we went to Eagle Beach. Apparently, for those of you who do not know this, just a little side note, in Aruba during March, April, 1st of May, it is windy season. So it was extremely windy in Aruba. The sand at times felt like little razors, but it was beautiful. One of the most beautiful beaches in the world. I think Eagle Beach is the number 2 beautiful beach in the world, but yeah, it was fabulous.
And we were right next to you. I mean, the beach literally right next to Eagle Beach is DV Beach. It's a little smaller beach. I learned about it from another YouTube creator, Traveling with Hyro, I think is his name. But he lives down Aruba. So we really enjoyed our beach day as well in Aruba. And then we were off to Bonaire. Bonaire was our second day, and we both did different excursions. I'll go first on this one. So Anita and I rented a golf cart, which is a popular thing to do because it's such a small island. You can kind of zip around the whole island. So you can zip around to different beach stops and just pull over wherever you want to pull over. If there's a bar there and you want to pull over, you pull over. So we just got some beautiful pictures and stopped along some beautiful beaches. There was this pond and a couple of flamingos eating in the pond, and I pulled the golf cart right next to the pond, and I got some good video footage close up of the flamingo. Well, not too close, but close enough. And that was cool. We saw some wild donkeys walking around. It was just kind of fun zipping around the island. So we had a good time, and I know Nikki is a huge flamingo fan. So what was your day like?
So we were going to do golf carts. However, the 3 people golf carts, I think they have 2 on all the golf carts. So we missed that. But fortunately, because we did a private tour, I think of the lower part of the island, we saw the salt flats. If you want to know how sea salt is made, fabulous. It was beautiful there. We did see some flamingos out in their own habitat, which was neat to see. But Bonaire, as far as the island itself and the port, this is the best port I have ever been to as far as vendors, the people in the port. It's not the typical port of pressure, people want to sell you things. It's very casual, homey. The people are super welcoming and nice. It's very clean. We were super impressed with this port. And apparently in Bonaire, that's where a lot of Bonaire's a Netherlands nation, so a lot of people retire from there. A lot of Canadians retire there. It was just very clean, very well kept. I was super impressed. This is a place that I would travel alone. That's how fabulous Bonaire was.
Yeah, it really is.
If you're a scuba diver, Bonaire is made for scuba diving. It was beautiful.
Yeah, there's some incredibly pretty water. Going around on the golf carts, and I see Kakins, you're asking about an ATV in Bonaire. A lot of people rent scooters. A lot of people rent golf carts. We had a 4-seat golf cart. We didn't know it was going to be a 4-seat golf cart, but we actually could have taken a couple other people.
You got mine. You got mine.
We didn't know until we picked it up because they were sold out. There's a place called Bonaire Cruisers that you can go to right in the port, but there is another place that rents out golf carts, and I was fortunate enough to land one of those, but you had to take a cab to get there. It was a $20 cab ride to go 8 minutes, but whatever. We got there, and the golf cart was a little cheaper anyway, so it evened out. But yeah, it's a really cool experience, but it's definitely a fun experience to zip around the island. I think that's something anybody would enjoy. So yeah, that's what I would do. So getting to La Romana and Amber Cove, just La Romana really quickly. We didn't even get off the ship. Well, technically I got off the ship, but the only thing in La Romana, it was raining and kind of overcast, and we didn't have an excursion booked. So I just planned on, they have a brand new, well, not brand new, but just a few months old, free pool. So those of you that have been to Amber Cove, now in La Romana, they have a similar type free pool. And it's very nice. It's not quite as large as the one in Amber Cove, but there's a lot of seating. There's several bars and a couple restaurants there that you can purchase food from. And I mean, literally, you could walk to that free pool area in probably less than 10 minutes once you got off the ship. And the little shopping area with the souvenirs, those have even been upgraded a little bit. So for those of you that want to walk around in the La Romana area and not really do anything, that is an option there. Now in Amber Cove, Kevin B, who is on right now, this very Kevin B right here, um, him and Barb were so nice to offer us the opportunity to join them. They rented out a little cabana, and I will show video of that and give a little tour of that little cabana. But that's right next to the free pool area and stuff, and they give you, I guess, like an hour of use of the water activities and things like that as well. And it was nice. They put snacks and some drinks and things like that in there. I think you got free access to the zip line. They have one zip line there for those of you that haven't been there. The water slides are free, and there's a little hot tub out on the patio. And then the inside part has air conditioning. So that was really cool. So little time that we spent there, we enjoyed that. So I don't think you two did a whole lot. Or I mean,
We did not. We did so much on the ship as far as the dining and the just doing activities that was really number one. It was Easter weekend, so one of our excursions was canceled because of Good Friday. But we took the opportunity in both of those ports to actually enjoy the Havana area. Like we spent the extra money to enjoy this area. So we wanted to enjoy it, and we did. So we did that. We stayed on the ship those 2 days for the most part. We ran into the shops for a minute, but we did enjoy the Havana area those 2 days.
All right, well, that's good. And that kind of is a good segue to the next but that's the ship in general. People have asked me like, well, what's your favorite ship? Well, I've been on the Mardi Gras and I really, really enjoyed the Mardi Gras, but it is an intimidating ship. And I don't think you can fully experience the XL class ship in a week. You really need to do 2 weeks to kind of get everything in on an XL class ship. Otherwise, you're just going to kind of rush through it. I mean, there's just so much entertainment, so many food and dining options and things like that. You can't get through it all. Horizon to me is size-wise like the perfect ship for a week because there are so many different dining options that I felt like there was always a choice. There's a couple times where I wasn't hungry early or I got hungry late, and oh look, right next to us is Bonsai Sushi. I can get a sushi. Yeah, yeah. Angie figured out
first time sushier, and I figured out that I love sushi.
Right.
So. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I really, and I think the decor of the ship is very pretty. It's not gaudy by any means. It's comfortable. It's warm. I mean, I enjoy the fact that at night, for example, you have the piano bar that you can go to for entertainment. There's live music in the Ocean Plaza. There's usually some shows going on in the main theater. There's comedy going on. So there's always something going on. There's dive-in movie theaters like on most, so entertainment wise, you're covered. Dining options are plentiful, whether it's specialty dining or free food, there's plenty of options. Also, thing I like about the Horizon, I love the addition of Guy's Brewhouse Smokehouse Bar. I split my time, or we split our time between the Alchemy Bar and Guy's most evenings. And the good thing is Guy stays open later than Alchemy. So sometimes we'd close down Alchemy and then it would just walk down the hallway to where we got the Guys. And they have the best Bloody Marys at sea too, for those of you that haven't had. So overall, the ship as a whole, I know you said you prefer a little smaller ship, but for the most part, there's a lot of things you liked about the Horizon too.
I think about my initial, because initially, I had some negativity about just how the ship is laid out. It can be very crowded, and I didn't like it. But then again, I can't get those specialty things that we want to do. You can't get those like on the, like, I love the Valor. That's one of my favorite ships. The Sunshine is one of my favorite ships. Um, but you can't get those things, those specialty things on. So it's a give and take. But I'm sure there'll be bigger ships in the future, and we'll see. It could have just been this experience, but I am no way being negative whatsoever. Any cruise is fabulous. Your cruise is what you make it. Any cruise is fabulous.
Right.
So, but we had a fabulous time on this ship. There was a lot to do, and the people on the ship. We met a lot of new friends on this ship, and with Cookie and everything all together. It was wonderful. It really was.
Just real quick. Daryl's here too. What's up, Daryl? Kaken's Amber Cove, like I mentioned it, but it was very quick. We stayed in the cabana with Kevin B and Barb. Anita and I did, and I think the girls were mostly on the ship. But yeah, the and I will say Amber Cove. One thing that an excursion I love there is the Damawaga waterfalls or whatever. So if you want to know more about that, hit me up via Messenger or on the Coach Cruise Facebook page, and I will fill you in on that if you're looking for something to do in Amber Cove. We just had already done it, so that's why we didn't do it. Lynn loves the Mardi Gras. I love the Mardi Gras as well. Just to touch on, real quick, because Angie's alluded to it several times. They love interacting with the crew, and it's a lot of fun, and that's why I'm good friends with the three of them. They're a riot, honestly. I mean, a lot of times I'll just observe.
I'm sorry.
I'll just laugh. I'll just laugh at them, because Angie's scolding the other two half the time, and the other two are like, I don't know, they're just,
it's corralling cats. I tell you guys,
goofy, and they wander off, and then they're laughing, and I don't know, they just say and do stuff that makes me crack up. So the three of them together are like a comedy show. Seriously, they could be a sitcom. But the crew, yeah. So Alchemy, we had Catalina, we had Maria, we had Marco,
Alan.
we had Alan. Who else was there? We had Andre was a senior bartender. He was really cool. We had Surrey down at Guys. Diana was down there. A couple other people. I'm forgetting. One lady that was down in the coffee shop area. Tenny Glad was in the steakhouse serving me my watermelon martinis on the regular. She was really cool. All the guys down in the Havana bar area were really cool. Had a lot of fun with them. But I mean, so many people. I got some names written down, but let's see. Shane says, could you answer a question about the spa? Have you done the IV treatment? It's supposed to be, no, I've never done the IV treatment. I have gone to the spa. We have done the, the therapy rooms, the spa, sauna areas and stuff, but I've never done the IV thing. I hadn't even heard about that, to be honest with you.
I've never done the IV treatments either.
Yeah. So yeah, the next one for me, is the celebration, and that one's in about 60 days. And so we're trying to convince, and I think the other 2/3 of the Charlie's Angels, I think they're leaning towards Alaska. So we might be doing a third cruise together, June of 2024. If any of y'all want to join us, trying to talk Angie, and Angie, you'll be happy to know that will be a much smaller ship. It's the ship right up your perfect size. So, the ship size that you want and everything, that will be it right there. So, I mean, we covered just about everything. I would have liked to touch a little bit more on a couple things, but it was very easy conversation. So thank you, Angie. And thank you for all the comments, everybody. It's, I'd still prefer to be on a ship, but it was good to be back and see so many of you come and enjoy and take part in the show. Thank you all for that. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats. We got up to 77. So for sure, next week, we should probably be giving away at least one shirt. Only 23 to go. Shane, it is the Carnival Miracle that we will be on. June 14th, 2024, out of San Francisco, I believe. And we are almost 10 minutes over, and there's still like 30 of you here. So thanks so much for that. And appreciate you. And we'll see you all next Tuesday. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, guys. Have a good week.